Okay, another video. This video is specifically designed to complement the new custom design request quote form on the site. I have been running and owning this business by myself for the last 15 years, and I have gotten thousands of requests over those 15 years for custom work. When I first started the business, developing artwork, the kind of artwork that I do, such as character-based themes, jokers, outlaw figures with guns, things like that, it's very, very hard to do because of the limitations of computer systems and the horsepower they had to do it. Some of the things would take me months to develop. Some of them came from places such as the Netherlands or the United Kingdom, and I had to do collaborations with other artists because they had tools that I did not have here. And on top of that, I was doing all the printing, packing, and shipping myself on top of the artwork. Lately, that has changed with the advent of newer and faster computers, different programs that allow me to develop the art faster. I've got a very high horsepower computer behind me. Some of the things that used to take me an hour to do 10 years ago now take me less than 5 minutes. Things have really progressed. So I found myself talking to people every day. Half of my emails in my inbox were, can you do this custom work? To which I, of course, politely have to digress from that. I have put a new request form up. Just a disclaimer, this request form is there so that I can kind of pick and choose the things that I think best fit my artistic style. It does not guarantee, if you fill it out, that I will be able to do your custom work. I really am picky about what I take on so that I can do the best job for you. If I think there's a better company out there that can do your style of request, I'll absolutely, if I know of them, I will absolutely direct you to them. Again, I am more character-based. If you have an idea of a joker or, as I'll show you here shortly, an angry pig, a snake, boa constrictor snake, I'm probably your guy for that. The other limitation is when you fill out the custom request form, which I'm about to go over, there's only certain things that I'm able to make art for. Templates that I've made in-house that I trust for the best final product. So let's just take a look here at the website. So there are a couple ways that you can access the custom design request form. I am on the main site here, which you probably are too because you're watching this video. If you're not, I'll put a link in the description. Right here is a little pop-out that loads up step 1 of 6 to fill out a custom work form, okay? The other way to access it is just directly from the top menu, custom design quote. And that'll actually open it up in a brand new window for you instead of a pop-out, which might be easier, especially if you're on a cell phone. So we'll go through this together and I'll just sort of fake it so you can see, what this requires. I'm going to go through here and fill this out. That was just my information, my name, where I'm from, etc. Here's where things start to get a little bit more detailed. It asks you, what is this for? RC boat, RC body, RC chassis, ATV, motorcycle, dirt street. Some of these won't apply to you. If you're looking at these, you think, what are those? Don't worry about it. Just pick the one that you need. So for this example, I'm going to pick RC chassis skin, okay? And I'm going to come down here, and it's not an RC body, so I'm, as this says, only select if applicable. And then it says, which RC chassis? Well, I happen to have an ARMA that I want custom work for. And the next thing it asks is, I want the part number of your chassis. I'm not going to get into details here because maybe you're watching this and you want a motorcycle kit. If you're an RC guy, you know what your chassis part number is and you know how to get it, just put it in there. This is for ATV guys, girls, and this is for dirt street motorcycle guys and girls. You will hit the next step. Here is where you will tell me in your own words what you want. Please be descriptive for me because it'll save us going back and forth in email trying to get more information. But the best thing you can do is just upload me a couple screenshots of something you saw, and that would help me out a lot. I will show you examples of what other customers have uploaded here so that you have an idea of kind of what I need. So just for testing purposes, I'm going to type in here, you know, I'd like a boa constrictor, colorful, mean snake, red, yellows, and oranges, you know. And then you would upload a photo of a boa constrictor that you saw on Google, and I'll just use that as a reference. I won't copy it. Realize I cannot use copyrighted work, trademarked work, but as a reference image so I can see what's in your mind, it's totally fine to upload to me something like that. You'll hit next step, and here it'll ask you, you know, what kind of add-ons do you want in this graphic kit? Do you want this installed on a body, on a chassis, on you know, something like that? I'm not able to do installs on everything. You know, you can just click I'm not sure, and we can talk about that in an email later, but a lot of the RC bodies I am able to do. I can order them in, I can get it installed for you. If you just want this thing completely done and shipped to you, we can work that out. You can click on I'm not sure, and yes, I'd like to do it, you know, whatever you want. It allows multiple selections there. Then it asks you, do you want it printed on any of the base materials? You know, there's oil spill chrome, honeychrome, etc. And then it asks you, what do you want for your final finish? Are you thinking matte, gloss, metallic? None of these things need to be locked down into stone. This just gives me an idea of how to quote you. If you want to remove one of these things after you see the quote and you're like, whoa, that was a bit more expensive than I thought, that is perfectly fine. We will go to the next step. It wants me to select that field, so now I will go to the next step. It also wants me to, okay, so it wants me to select something here from the very top and the bottom, because the bottom I have to have, I need to know the finish. The middle ones, these are all optional, and the top one, you know, is required. Okay, so on the final agreement, the nitty-gritty details, this just goes over, just because you submit the form, doesn't guarantee I'm going to be able to accept the work. Keep in mind that if I know of someone in the industry that is more tailored or suited for the request you have, I'll do my best to guide you to them. Again, I'm more of a character-based artist. So if this comes at me and it's, you know, a bunch of swooshes and swashes, more factory style, that may not be something I'm going to be able to do. It also goes on to say that we own the artwork, Darkside Studios that is. We can do with it whatever we want in the long term. So you would hit agree to that if you agree, and hit the next step, and it gives you a quick summary, and you can hit submit. That will email it to me. I try to respond within 24 hours, but I'll tell you there are times when I just can't get it done that quickly, and it may be longer. You did put your cell phone number in on step number 1. That's important because I will send a automated text to that number when your quote is done. And the benefit of that is if your quote lands in your spam folder, which a lot of times it does, the text will alert you, hey, it was sent, you know, and you'll know enough to check your spam folder. So without any further ado, why don't we jump into a couple examples of some things that clients sent me, what I developed for them, and I will actually show you some of the products, the final products that came out of print. Okay, so I had a customer submit a form and they wanted a boa constrictor on a chassis plate skin for an ARMA infraction chassis. Of course, that's right up my alley because it's character-based, and they uploaded one image, and the image was just a screenshot from Google with, you know, boa constrictors or something like that. But what I took away from the image was they seemed to appreciate, you know, the boa constrictor's head being in the center with the coil underneath. The customer said, do your thing, man. You know, I just want that. I don't care, you know, what the colors are. Of course, I got him in the loop with the colors, but I was able to develop this without any color because I needed to report back to the client and say, hey, do you like, you know, the position, things like that. Customer was ecstatic with this. So from there, we talked about color, And the customer actually wanted this printed on chrome, the oil spill chrome. So when they were doing the quote form, they did click on oil spill chrome, gloss finish. And I said, well, we should do a higher contrast, keep it dark around the edges so that it pops with the snake with the chrome. And he agreed. His customer was just like, do your thing. I just want this snake. So it was an easy one. Here it is with the color. I will zoom in a little bit here to show you some detail. You can see how detailed this was, right down to the, details on the tongue of the snake. There was some dripping venom, things like that. This was the final chassis skin print in digital form. You can see here that to fill in some of the void, I did some black scales that sort of faded out to the sides. And the final product is actually right here. And there it is, right? You can see it turned out quite nice. And for, I think the design fee on this was well under $50. But it was under $50 because it was character-based, and that's my specialty. If somebody wanted something, more vector-based, factory race style, it's going to take me longer because I'm not as good at it. And if those requests do come in, unless I'm really slow at the time, I will probably try to guide you to somebody who can do that better than me. So I'll give you just another quick look at this. I think it turned out really cool. This is just an extra one I have sitting here, but the one the customer ordered is already in their hands. This is another one that came in last week, which I'm actually still working on. Customer uploaded this simple screenshot from, it looks like Deposit Photos. Again, this is just a reference image he sent me. I'm not printing this actual image. I just want to make that clear because I don't own this image. I use this as a reference, and I sent him this. This was the start. Again, no color. Customer was super happy with that and said, do your thing with the rest of it. I trust you. Again, super easy person to work with. This is actually going on another chassis plate, believe it or not, which is nice because it fills a chassis plate, vertically quite well. And this was the final, at least so far, rendition that I have. This is done in partly in ZBrush and other programs with some assets that I have stashed away, which makes it quick. I added some bling around the tusks, in the ear. Right now I've got his mohawk pretty wide. I want to narrow this in so it's very narrow. In other words, there's too much hair over here for my liking, but some things I can, depending on the bid that I give you and the quote that I give you, I can get more in depth, but what I always do is I just start with, I can get you in the system for this price. It'll get the ball rolling. And, you're allowed 2 or 3 revisions, and we can usually get it done for you by then. But, if the customer said to me, hey, I want to get rid of the pink in the hair, that's easy. I can just change it to whatever color you want. But yeah, this is how it turned out. And, you can see the incredible detail. I mean, right down to like a wart over his eye. Turned out really nice. So that was the Angry Pig one that I have been working on. And in similar fashion, this one came to me. It was a photo of what appears to be an old Blu-ray disc, maybe. Yeah. And it had an Uncle Sam figure on it. Customer wanted an Uncle Sam figure on a Salvas Mud Boss body. Again, I'm still working on this one, but I was able to get him a rendering a couple of weeks ago, and this is what I started with. This customer actually said, no, I want him to be more tattered like on the box. You can see his clothing is really tattered. Again, this is just a reference image that he sent me. And so I ended up with, and there was another step in between here, but I'm skipping it. I ended up with this. I still have some color to add to this, but you can see the detail. And this will be going on the backside of a Salvus Mud Boss body, which, if you're not into RC stuff, you may not know what that is, which is fine. You're just here to see how this process works. Okay, and for my final example, this is in fact more of a factory race style vectors, swooshes and swashes type of design. I know that this stuff is very popular out there. I understand. So I did take on this job. The client sent me a picture of a big tattered X, and I was able to find an X at one of my fantastic art suppliers. And from there, I used some elements from the supplier to develop this kit on neon film. Now, neon film is new and upcoming. It'll be available on the forum in about a month. But for now, I'm only doing the certain projects with neon. This was one of them we had talked about. I said, I think the neon would really pop. And I have another example of this to show you in real life as the printout. Now, this was designed neon pink, but we ended up going with a neon yellow, okay? You can see that this is, in standard race form, logos. The customer said, I have just a couple logos that I want, but fill in the rest with just randoms. And so that's what I did. This was the customer's name. In the end, I ended up putting the customer's, this was the customer's number. In the end, I ended up putting the customer's name underneath the number. This was just my standard model. This is the final product. This actually was installed on a Mud Boss body for RC short course racing. It is printed on neon yellow. Turnaround time on this was, during the slow season, about a week, because I was juggling some other things at the time. But I've given you now 3 examples of what I am more suitable to or for, which is character development themes. And one example of me dabbling in the factory race style theme. Feel free to use the quote form if you want. Again, just because you fill it out, it doesn't mean I'm going to be able to do the work. So I don't want you to be upset with me if you go through the trouble of filling it out and I say, I'm sorry, that's not for me. I'm letting you know in advance that it's at your own risk. Again, I only pick the things that I think I can be the best at for whatever it is you're requesting. If you have any questions about the quote form, feel free to shoot me an email. My contact is at the top of the page in the contact box. Thank you very much. I appreciate you watching, and I hope to hear from you soon.